Today I'm gonna platinum Thymesia. Thymesia is an indie Souls-like with 38 trophies, and PSN profiles gives it a 4 out of 10 difficulty. Essentially, this plague broke out, and because people didn't wear a mask, it ravaged the land. In the game, you play as a plague doctor who has a sword and some magical claws. There isn't much to the story. In fact, it is literally told through a PowerPoint presentation. It's okay though, because the amazing, smooth gameplay makes up for it. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into it. We begin the game with a title screen that is an exact replica of the Dark Souls one. It is there where we receive our first PowerPoint lesson. Also, sorry that the footage is a little choppy at the beginning, I fix it soon. Anyhow, we spawn into a pretty dark and gloomy village where we get an introduction to the combat system, which is actually really fun. Basically, enemies have a shield bar and a health bar. You have to deplete the shield bar before you can get to the health bar. In the game, there is a feature where you can take a fallen enemy's weapon in a process called reaving. You can only use the weapon once, but it does a bunch of damage. I got my first trophy for reaving a weapon. Not too long after, I get my second trophy for resting at a beacon for the first time. Now what does that remind me of? There are also close to 100 collectibles in the game that are required for the platinum. I followed a great guide by Optinome so I could get them all on my first playthrough. My next trophy was for dying for the first time. Well, actually the trophy description is dead for the first time, but I presume they were going for dying. Shortly following that accomplishment, I fought the first boss. Unfortunately for me, it's like the first boss in Elden Ring, where you just have to die. Anyway, that earned me a trophy for completing the tutorial. Straight afterwards, I got another trophy for starting the recalling, aka entering the first level. In the game, when you kill an enemy, they can drop shards of a plague weapon. You can use those to craft plague weapons. There are 21 in the game, and you need to unlock all of them for a trophy. I crafted my first one, earning a trophy. After that, I went around doing some grinding and progressing through the area. For the most part, it wasn't too difficult, apart from this one guy who killed me about 10 times. Shortly after, I encountered the first boss, Oda. It was actually a really fun fight. I died a couple of times, but on my third attempt, I ripped through him. Haha, suck it, Oda, you're absolutely garbage. Screw you, hippie! And there's a second phase. Yeah, the second phase was really difficult. I mean, it was no Margit, but it was pretty damn hard, and it took me close to an hour to finally beat him. I got a trophy for beating him, and then another for beating the level. After that, I continued through the story. I also tried to gather some ingredients to use to create a potion that gives 25% extra shards. Shards are just the equivalent of souls, by the way. Anyway, there is a glitch where you kill yourself and then pick up your shards with a 25% buff for essentially infinite shards. It took me a couple of hours to get the ingredients, but it was well worth it. I got a trophy for brewing the potion and then reaching max level. After that, I went around and found a specific type of enemy so I could upgrade my plague weapon. I did that for about 10 minutes and got a trophy for leveling up my weapon to max level. After that, we faced the second boss, the Hanged Queen. Get it? Because it's a bat. Anyway, the boss was pretty easy and I got it in 3 tries. Beating him earned me 2 trophies, one for defeating the Hanged Queen and one for finishing the level. After that, I went ahead and did some side quests, including one where I walk around destroying cysts and then jump on this boss and one-shot him. I got a trophy for defeating the boss and another one for defeating a boss without using any healing potions. Subsequently, I went to try and defeat a mutated version of Oda, the first boss. This guy was just impossible. I tried and tried, but I just could not do it. I decided to take a break and go to the gym. I channeled my anger to lift more weights than ever thought possible, and then I returned to face my nemesis. And I actually beat him! Hell yeah, easy trophy. Following that, I beat up an old lady for her keys, and then I fought a gimmick boss for another trophy. After that, I warped into the next area, Hermes Fortress. It is here where we encounter Varg, the guy from the very start of the game who killed me. On my first try, I absolutely ripped through his first phase, but unfortunately, he killed me halfway through his second. On my second try, I killed him. He was actually a very easy boss due to his attacks being very slow and easy to parry, which is a huge advantage considering that parrying deals a substantial amount of damage in this game. I got 2 trophies for beating the level and defeating Varg. After that, I went to fight the final boss. Myself. Yeah, it's like the Mimic tier in Elden Ring, I guess. This fight wasn't too bad. It took me around 5 to 10 tries and gave me a trophy. Now, this game has multiple endings. I chose the Power of Vile Blood ending and got a trophy for it. After that, I selected the option not to finish the game so I could get the other endings. While working towards the other endings, I got the final story bit needed for a trophy, and then I killed this guy and he dropped an oregano, which was the final herb I needed for another trophy. You know what, I'm not going to waste your time by going through each individual ending because you would probably be bored to death, and I sure as hell would be. You just have to defeat various bosses and then show this girl certain items. Doing all of the other endings gave me 6 trophies. Then there were just a bunch of miscellaneous trophies that I had been working towards the entire game, like getting all of the collectibles, plague weapons, and potions. There were 5 trophies for doing things like that. I also got a trophy for finishing all of the levels in the game. After that, I had to create a new save file and fight the first boss again. I got a trophy for defeating his first health bar. For the final trophy, I had to destroy 1,000 barrels. It only took a few minutes because I found a really good farming spot. Here's the clip. Alright, 1,000 barrels. I think I've got around 900, hopefully. This won't take too long. Oh yeah, there we go. 1,000 barrels. Sweet. It took another minute, but the final trophy for getting all of the achievements popped. There is the platinum for Thymesia. I actually really enjoyed this game, and although getting all of the endings can be slightly tedious, I would recommend the platinum to anyone who wants to give it a go. The guide says it will take 15 hours to platinum it. It took me 13 thanks to a great guide by OptiNoob, link in the description. Sorry this video is shorter than usual, there isn't really a story to this game that I can easily talk about, so that's why. Thanks so much for watching. Now I'd highly recommend this video where I platinum Elden Ring.